Hey everyone, Russell here. Today we're diving into a topic I wish had been shared with me when I first started dating. 7 first date mistakes every gay man should avoid. And if you're anything like me, first dates can be a cocktail of excitement, but also nerves, huh? But fear not, I'm here to share some wisdom that will make your first dates not just bearable, but also enjoyable. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first mistake is overthinking your outfit. I've been there, standing in front of my closet, thinking of how to make a good first impression. But hey, here's the thing. It's all about feeling good in your own skin. Choose something that screams you. And while we're on the subject about clothes and appearance, don't forget those hygiene basics. I mean, who doesn't find fresh breath and clean nails sexy, right? It's those little things that show you care about presenting your best self to the world, huh? And showing up with clean, maybe cut nails and a fresh breath talk volumes about the self-care and self-respect you have for yourself. And that, my dear, is really sexy. Yeah? And brushing and flushing your teeth and cutting your nails doesn't take that much time. Huh? To me, it's actually a bare minimum. And on a side note, if you want to get rid of garlic breath in a heartbeat, check out my short video in the description below. So mistake number 2 is not listening actively. So now, this is a really big one for me, huh? The listening part. There's nothing that turns me off more than a date who doesn't let me finish my sentences or hijacks the conversation to talk about themselves non-stop. Active listening is not just polite, it's not just a skill, it's actually really sexy. It shows you're interested in who your date is, not just waiting for your turn to speak, huh? Trust me, it makes really all the difference if you get into this active listening, huh? Show genuine interest and you'll not only learn more about your date, but also make them feel more valued, huh? And of course, this goes both ways, huh? It's essential that the conversation is balanced, showing an equal level of interest and engagement. So then the next mistake is the talking about your ex's mistake. The ex conversation is a slippery slope. While our past shapes us, first dates aren't the place for these tales. You can talk about your ex on your therapist's couch, right? Because diving into ex talk can actually indicate you're not fully present or ready for a new chapter. It can indicate that you're not over your ex yet, yeah? And if the topic arises, try to gracefully steer the conversation back to the here, now, and the future. And remember, if discussing past relationships, well, always try to frame it positively. Have focus on growth and what you've learned. And a first date is really about showing you're open to new beginnings, not dwelling on what's behind you. And I've been on dates where exes came up and it can feel like the other person is not really moving forward or there's still unfinished business going on. So it sometimes even feels that the date shouldn't be happening right then and there, because what am I doing here if the guy still needs to talk about his ex, yeah? And if your date asks you something about an ex, maybe it's not so taboo to mention an ex, but try to keep it light and positive. So if I'm asked about an ex, I would share my learning experience, like turning it into a moment of growth. And in the end, it's all about how you frame it, right? Well, to give you an example, I think I would say, well, when I think about my last dating experience is, I learned to put healthy boundaries after my last relationship. And I learned to take things slower, okay? So that is something very neutral and it sounds kind of positive, and it's true. That was my takeaway from my last dating experience. And then we're moving on to the common mistake number 4, which is overindulging. Been there, done that. Well, whether it's on too many compliments, drinks, food, or oversharing personal details, it's really easy sometimes to go overboard and overindulge if you feel comfortable with your date. And this can have a counterproductive effect on your date and might even overwhelm him, okay? You can definitely share anecdotes that illuminate your personality. You can sprinkle in some humor and reveal some of your quirks, but in doses, s'il vous plaît, okay? It's about giving a taste, not the whole buffet. And let the mystery of your character unfold naturally and slowly, making your date eager to discover more about you on a next date. So then mistake number 5 is ignoring boundaries or not putting enough boundaries. This is a biggie. I've learned that not everyone is comfortable with the same things and the same doses of things, right? Respecting your date's comfort levels, comfort zones, from conversation topics to physical space, sets a tone of mutual respect, right? Try to be attuned to both verbal and non-verbal cues and pay attention to how your date reacts to different topics or situations. And it's not just about following their leads, it's about being vocal about your own boundaries too. And communication here is key, and it always goes both ways. Embrace openness about preferences and desires, and remember that consent and comfort should always lead the way in shaping the evening's flow. So mistake number 6 is focusing too much on physical appearance or sex. Compliments are great, but they need to be balanced. While compliments on physical appearance can be flattering, they shouldn't dominate the conversation, and they should be balanced with compliments about character or interests or talents. About like really more deeper features of the person. I remember feeling uncomfortable when a date solely complimented me on my looks. It's nice to get compliments, but there's so much more behind our physical cover. So it's also important to acknowledge other aspects like interests, talents, humor, or intelligence. That's actually what feels more real and more authentic. And in the end, a holistic appreciation fosters a deeper, more genuine connection. For me, it's also a turn off when somebody talks about their sexual preferences in a very impersonal way. Like, I like to do this in sex. Well, to me, it's all about like the connection you have with someone and the amount of trust you have. But to me, that is like not sexy to talk about like your favorite positions or stuff like that, because it's actually something intimate and you kind of make it public while you talk about it with the person. Turn off for me, but maybe for some, it's not a turn off. And then the last mistake is not being yourself. The most magnetic trait you can offer is your true, authentic self. Quirks and all included. There's no need to unveil your entire life story from the get-go, but don't shy away from showing who you really are. There's a temptation to put on a mask to be who we think our date wants us to be, but in my experience, nothing beats authenticity. And sure, you don't have to lay all your cards on the table at once, and you can rewind to mistake number 4 about overindulging for this one, but don't be afraid to show your true colors, even if it's just a glimpse, because the right person will appreciate you for who you are, making every step of the journey worthwhile. So the sooner you can filter out guys that are not interested or not compatible with you, the better. And that's why showing your true self is so essential, but in doses, okay? And there you have it, 7 mistakes I've learned to avoid on first dates. It's all a learning curve, and honestly, each misstep has only brought me closer to understanding what I truly seek in a connection. If any of these resonated with you, or you've got stories of your own, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heartfelt chats like these ones, Until next time, keep being your amazing self. And here is to making every first date a little less daunting. Bye-bye.